If you're watching this and you're one of my 100 subs, I want to say thank you just to you. The Bitcoin retirement playbook isn't just for me, it's for you too. This video is about the situation you may be in, or like me, or like millions around the world who simply don't have enough stacked up or in a pot of money to have a decent shot at retirement. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 things that you can expect over the next 12 months and 12 years because my retirement problem ain't going away anytime soon. So recently I ran some numbers into Claude AI just to look at retirement figures. The core of what the Bitcoin retirement playbook is about is that, like me, a lot of people simply don't have a retirement plan or a stack, or they've just been putting it off year after year after year. So the numbers I ran were based on $1 million portfolio, and I'll get to why I'm looking at $1 million portfolio. But if you're 20 years old, you need to put aside for 40 years, if you want to retire when you're 60 to 65, you need to put away $455 per month. I don't know about you, but in my 20s, I just didn't have that money. You know, I was working in the bar, I was waiting on tables. I didn't have a disposable income. I was more focused on what I was doing that weekend, whether I was going out, visiting friends or going clubbing or whatever, going to the pub. I didn't have $380 to put away. Certainly my time horizon wasn't the next 40 years. I wasn't smart or sensible enough, and no one ever had that conversation with me. But if you consider the fact that you revisit that pension conversation in your 30s, you've got to be putting away $656 every month for another 30 years if you want $1 million portfolio. In my 30s, I was saving for a wedding, saving for a house. Any spare money I had, again, was going on like nice things like holidays. I didn't have spare $600 a month. I knew it was important. I knew my pension was important, but I simply didn't have the money. I don't know if anyone ever has the money to build a decent retirement pot. Later on in my 30s, when I started my business and I started to make a bit of money, I bought a property for retirement in my business, which in hindsight was a bit of a bad move. And I just invested in the business. The business was always going to be my chance at a decent shot at retirement. I thought if I could grow it big enough with enough income, I could stack the money and then eventually put it away somewhere or buy another commercial property or something like that. But when my business did go belly up, when I did have to liquidate the business, the property went with it. Any money, any nest eggs. Over time, as the business was failing after COVID, I was paying staff, I was paying suppliers, I was paying people. That money just eroded. And I wasn't thinking about my pension at that point. I was thinking about how do I keep my head above water? How do I put food on the table for my own family and the family of my employees? It didn't enter my mind. So all throughout my life and my career, my pension has been such a far away time horizon. I never really considered it. I've always had today problems. And I know that hasn't changed much in the last 20 years for a lot of people. Everyone's just trying to keep their head above water, trying to survive, trying to pay rent, trying to pay groceries. You know, I'm 45 now and we're one of the first generations that's getting drained from below and above, right? So I've got 3 kids who are going to need clothes, school, education. At some point they're going to go to university, and now my parents are elderly. You know, they don't have enough money. I'm from a working class background. I don't come from money, so I'm being drained financially from above and below. It's a real sandwich situation. I know I'm late into this, and I know there's millions of people out there who are too. And if you're one of those people, I'm glad you found me, because this is going to be a hell of a journey and we're going to make the best out of it as we can. Some other numbers I ran into Claude actually were around looking at a global scale. So in America, for example, 25% of Americans are going to be relying on Social Security when they retire. It's a very small amount. It's better in the UK and some parts of Europe, but nonetheless, it is a basic amount to retire on. 50% of Americans are going to be reliant upon their Social Security and a small private pension. And again, that's tiny. The numbers for the UK aren't much better. And actually the state pension in the UK is even worse. It works out £960 a month, the state pension in the UK for retirement age. Now, if you own a property outright or you have a property somewhere to live, you're going to be kind of just about okay with $960 a month. If you adjust to inflation, that's going to shrink a little bit more, because over the $960, your purchasing power is getting eroded over time due to massive amounts of inflation and debasement of global currencies continually printing money. I've done a video about that, about how your pension pot, if it's in pounds, dollars or pesos, slowly getting eroded by debasement and inflation. But if you don't own a property in the UK and you have to pay rent coming out of $960 a month, you are literally on the breadline. You do not have enough money to survive, to live. You barely have enough to heat your home in the harsh winters that we have in the UK and feed yourself. If you're in a couple, both of you are relying on each other to stay alive as long as possible to draw that pension. And because it's a state pension, once you're dead, it's gone. The other partner just doesn't get it. You know, they don't have access to that money. The point I'm trying to make is millions of people around the world who think they have a pension too actually don't. The the margin and the amount you have available to have a decent shot of a retirement is very small. And this is a global problem, global problem. And it's one that I'm late to the game. My runway's short. I'm 45 now. I want to retire in 10 to 15 years. Bitcoin is the only way I'm going to get a decent shot at retirement. If you're hearing what I'm saying and you can empathize and sympathize with that, if that is you, if you're one of these people who has a very low pot of money for your retirement or have no retirement, the Bitcoin retirement playbook is for you and you're in the right place. So here are the 3 things you can expect from this channel over the next 12 months, 24 months, 60 months, 12 years, 15 years. Number 1, the Bitcoin retirement playbook is all about following and replicating smart money. I've talked a little bit about my traffic light system previously in different videos. The Bitcoin retirement playbook is about replicating TradFi, right? What we're looking at is really about ETF flows, ETP flows. How do these financial juggernauts and massive institutions, sovereign wealth funds and family offices, how are they trading Bitcoin in the markets? What are they doing? And that's exactly what I'm doing. That's how I've been able to create $10,000 out of $1,500 over 3 years. I'm essentially replicating what old money does. This is not the Ethereum retirement playbook. This is not the altcoin retirement playbook. Guys, I will never look at alt season, Ethereum, Solana, nothing like that. I am all Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the asset that TradFi wants. Bitcoin is the asset that governments want to adopt. It's not Ethereum, it's not Solana. Yes, Ethereum will be the future of the, the financial ecosystem and banking rails, but this is the Bitcoin retirement playbook. Bitcoin is king, Bitcoin leads, everything else follows. It's the safest, most secure digital asset out there. It is the asset that traditional finance wants. 90% of crypto YouTubers and influencers out there, their business model is absolutely now because alt season's gone, Ethereum's gone, Bitcoin's the only thing that moves it forward. Bitcoin's the only thing that will ever make you wealthy in crypto. I have a bit of a rule with content that I consume on YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that. If it doesn't make me happier, healthier, or wealthier, get rid. It's just noise. 90% of crypto influencers out there are just noise. A second thing I want to cover is that over the last sort of 3 years, I've been hiding my portfolio on Substack behind a paywall. I've now decided I'm going to drop that paywall. All my portfolio trades, everything, every rotation I make in and out the market from Bitcoin to stable coins and vice versa, I'm making it all public on this YouTube channel. No more paywall. I'll probably maintain my Substack for a bit, but ultimately I want to move everyone over to YouTube. I want to go all in on YouTube. And for the next 12 months, I'm going to be very public. Everything's going to be openly, transparently, documented publicly on my YouTube channel. But now there is a but to this. In about 12 months time, once I've demonstrated to you subscribers and everybody else who follows this channel, once I've demonstrated that how I trade the market is successful, it's low risk and it works, I will then be going behind a paywall. I want to build up enough viewers and people that are interested and bought into the way that I trade the markets. In 12 months time, I will be putting the trades and the portfolio behind a paywall. For the next 12 months, I want to reach as many people as possible. And by doing that, I'm doing it for free. The reason why I'll be going behind a paywall is I want to go into this full time. I want to spend more time on the data, the metrics, the research. If I can monetize my channel to give me a small income to dedicate myself 100% to the Bitcoin retirement playbook, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And finally, number 3, if in 12 months time, I've still got 100 subs, 100 of you guys, or even if I've got 95 or less, I'll still be doing this. I'll still be committed full time to the Bitcoin retirement playbook. My retirement problem isn't going away, guys. I'm going to be here for the next 12 months, 24 months, 60 months, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years.
I'm not leaving.
And finally, guys, the Bitcoin retirement playbook is not a YouTube channel. At least I don't want it to be. I want the Bitcoin retirement playbook to be a community. I'm building it for you 100 subs that are here today. I'm building it for the next 1,000, next 10,000, next million subs that I can get. It's for you. It's not a channel, it's a community, and I want it to be a movement. I know that millions of people out there are affected by this. I know that millions of people out there simply don't have a plan or a chance. The government aren't gonna look after them. The big corporations aren't gonna look after them. The only person that's gonna help you have a decent shot of retirement is you, and that's it. That's the sad reality. Successful investing is incredibly boring. But what I hope to achieve at this channel is to go through that journey with you. There's going to be days where you feel like you want to sell, you want to panic here and there. With this system, you engineer out the emotions and you ride sustained rallies, if you're part of the community, you're part of the movement, you'll be in the same boat as all of us. We'll be doing this together, riding through the sustained rallies, building a decent shot of retirement. That's what the Bitcoin retirement playbook is all about. It's not a get rich quick scheme, guys. It's about going through these motions together, stronger as a community, as a movement, so we can get to the other side. Guys, if you got this far in the video, thank you so much. Stay tuned, I've got so much more to come. Big love, appreciate you all.